It don't happen no other way.
Welcome to 58 South TV, home of ShopTalk NC Podcast. Today we have your host, 58 South, with special appearances by C-Lowe and what do you mean? What's her name? And Phoenix, ladies and gentlemen. Enjoy the show.
I never get this right. They need to give me a raise.
Hey, thank y'all so much for tuning in, man. This is 58 South. Again, these are my ears.
What's up, y'all? It's your girl C-Lowe in the building.
And Phoenix from the borough.
How y'all doing, man?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic, man. Welcome to another episode of Shop Talk NC. Ladies.
Holiday weekend.
Right on. How's your holiday weekend been thus far?
Great. I've been around my people.
Yeah, it's been good today, yesterday, and Saturday. It's lots of entertainment. Coming on the back end and wanting some naps.
And some food.
And some food.
Naps and food. I feel you. So, before the summer was over, everybody had a chance to bear witness to the coming of age of some track and field stars. Most notably, Miss Sha'Carri Richardson. I want to make sure I pronounce her name correctly.
I adore her.
And the reason I want to talk about her is because when she had made the, I don't even want to say mistake because she knew what she was doing, so it's not a mistake. But when she had made the decision to relieve her stress the way she did, I had something to say about it. And what I simply said was, she knew the consequences and she did it anyway. So I don't really, feel no type of way about that. I didn't have any remorse for it. Like, if you know you'll get a ticket by driving drunk, then you drive drunk, I don't feel sorry for you.
Yeah.
I mean, wish it wouldn't have happened to you, but hey, I don't feel sorry for you.
Accurate.
Right. But what she did was, she bounced back and she out here busting tail
in spite of it all.
For lack of a
spite. No,
not even in spite. You know what I mean? Like she just showed everybody that this is what I'm capable of doing when I focus and prepare myself. And she's a force to be reckoned with right now. Her and Noah Lyles.
I believe her mother had a lot to do with her accountability and her losing her mom.
Because it was her mother or her grandmother that she had lost?
Her mother.
Her mother, okay. She had lost. In case you don't know the story, a couple years ago, Miss Sha'Carri Richardson, she had lost a parent, a parental figure, mother or grandmother, because I'm not sure. She said mother, so I'm going to go with mother.
And I mean, I guess it could have been a grandmother she assumed was her mother. So yeah, I mean, I would say it's synonymous.
So she decided to, relieve her stress the same way a lot of people relieve their stress, man. She just got a hold of some narcotic, you know what I mean? And
hey,
everybody can relate. I mean, we all human out here.
Relatable.
Very.
And somehow it became a news story. And the reason I didn't like the fact that it became a news story was because the young lady herself, she didn't feign accountability. She didn't act like it was a problem for her, or she didn't say, this is not fair to me. She said, yeah, I smoked. I know there's a possibility I could be tested for it. I'm just telling you why I smoked, and we're going to go from there. But then everybody else made it a thing. You start talking about Michael Phelps got caught smoking weed, and I don't know what the hell that had to do with anything. But then they tried to make it a black or white issue, but the lady herself didn't have an issue with it. She took full accountability. So
that's why they didn't have any power. Because my baby took full accountability.
See, that's you know when a mom is talking. You know when a mom talking.
Oh, she called
my baby.
She called all the youngins her baby.
She did. I've been rooting for her.
Yeah, she called all the youngins her baby. So because at first I was gonna kind of tailor this whole talk toward redemption, but there's nothing she had to redeem herself from. Because mind you, it wasn't like she was already a gold medalist and then fell off or nothing like that.
Right.
That's right.
So I guess I would tailor this conversation more toward bouncing back or growth. Mm-hmm. Okay.
I like growth.
Yeah, we'll do growth. That sounds more applicable to the situation, man. Because she didn't lose anything as far as I'm concerned. And I'm to say I'm proud of her is an understatement because it's not just the fact that she did well. Shorty beat the Jamaicans, man. And everybody know the Jamaicans is fast as hell.
After her being accountable for how she behaved with the Jamaicans, because there was a little bit of animosity.
And she was on the outside lane.
Yep.
Yeah,
I mean, and that's tough. You got to gain momentum. So I think her accountability
we
empowered
singing
her.
words now. we singing words. Okay.
It's usually
I was
me.
very proud
I'm
of
so
her.
glad it's not this time.
Okay. So keeping in the spirit of bouncing back, can y'all name an event or situation in which you faced that you kind of had a misstep or two and bounced back from? Let's not all be quiet at the same time.
Courtney, you want to go first?
Let's not all be quiet at the
Because you
same
know
time.
I'm Chatty Cathy. My name's Kathy.
Go ahead, Kathy. Lead us in.
Need the glasses.
Oh, Lord. Kathy, we're going to put you on a time limit.
That means she's reading a
You
response.
better. I would, because we had homework.
She has a prepared response.
I do, to keep me on track, because I can go off into rabbit holes. But I would say the loss of several family members and grief. I have failed handling my grief, and I bounced back with the help of the Creator, ancestors, and therapy. There are many events that shape me, but the event of loss and abandonment have been the common thread in my life. Failing was necessary, though, to get the lesson. It don't happen no other way. And so dealing with grief my whole life, not part of it, not, sections. When you come from a very big family, you're going to deal with grief.
Right.
And it's going to bring up emotions. And I believe, life is like a sea. And there are, some waves. And then you get to the dead calm. And then you get back to the really high waves. And we have to learn to navigate those waves. And they used to be very devastating to me because I didn't want anybody to leave me. When you're young and you've formed relationships with people who are pouring into you. And then they pass away. It's not grief you're feeling, it's abandonment. Because now who do I go to? Who do I look up to? Where's my wisdom coming from? Where are the foundations, the structures, the pillars? And I always had such reverence for people who were older than me. I always thought people my age or younger were sort of stupid. I only have a couple of friends, the one sitting next to me and a couple of others, who I don't think are emotionally immature. And so I would say grief over and over and over again as a life event helped me cope with abandonment.
Low.
So I'm going to tag team onto what she's saying. I think the biggest thing that I've had to overcome is trauma and grief. Of my mother, my son, and my grandma. It's just, it's an ongoing process, and I think for a while, I was stuck, which was the failing aspect for me, because regardless that these people left my life, they raised me, right? I was able to have them in my life for like 30 some years. So they raised me to be the woman that I know to be, but it's just hard when you don't have them, or you're used to having them in your corner, or having that, whatever it is in your corner for so long, and it's not there. You feel lost. And then it's just like, well, do you have the strength to pick up where you're going to go? Like, do I have the strength to like keep going, or am I just going to just quit in this space? Am I okay with consuming this space? Like, because real talk, it's not about other people at that moment. It's about, what do I perceive? Like, I don't care what people say about me. If I decided to just stay here in this place, like, I don't care what people have to say. This is where I feel comfort, and this is where I want to be. And for a while I was there because that was the closest I felt to my mom, them. And so I wanted to keep that. So to actually push forward and go through it, because it's not something you can just gaze over. It's something you fight every day. But to know that there's a bigger plan for myself, than to sit here and stay in this area. It just pushes and motivates you, and everybody goes at their own pace, right? So it's just like, how much are you willing to take on? How much are you willing to fight through? And so I've done the work. I'm still doing the work, because you hear those books about the stages of grief, and
like five stages.
The five stages of grief. Let me tell you something.
It's more than that.
It's more than the 5 stages, and it's more like, once you might go through this process, but those are going to always cycle. Like, it's always taught that once you get through the stages, grief is going to be a cakewalk, and you're going to be striving for greatness. It's bullshit.
It's like waves.
It's you might be in an angry stage, and you might heal from that, and then you go on to something else, and then that something triggers you, and it takes you back. So I think it's more about learning what you're dealing with. So I felt what I was dealing with. I had to learn what triggered me, and learn. So for me, just Mother's Day and birthdays, especially major holidays like Mother's Day, I don't go in stores. I don't go any store, because there's always a Mother's Day something, card, flower, something that people have made special for Mother's Day. So for me, that is a trigger for me. So when Mother's Day, the holiday comes around, I don't go out the house, because I just would rather, if I need something, I'm going to just order it online, groceries, anything. And I prepare for that month. I'm going to order my groceries. I'm going to order whatever I need. And I'm okay with being at my house, because triggering it's all about learning and developing and growing. So I would say that's where my thing has been, with the grief and the trauma, and just knowing, first and foremost, whatever higher power you believe in, I know what I believe in, but that has gotten me through, along with therapy. And just having really a close-knit circle that can pour into you as much as you pour into them. Sometimes it can just be a simple, yo, what up, what you doing, and a simple joke that could get you back on track. You know what I mean? So you need those people in your life. So you just have to be selective of who your circle is and what you need to always so it's just like, you're charging your phone. Your battery gets low, you get low, so you have to charge that, and sometimes you need to pull from different people.
Well, and just to piggyback off of you, Courtney, healing is a community. Healing is village. I think people often think that if they isolate themselves, that the healing will happen quicker. The creator of the universe, whatever you quantify as your higher power, put other beings here for us to learn. So, that part of you that is constantly have to go through that, what I call waves you can see coming on the sea. You can see it. If you're going to have a grief-stricken day. It's all the way the wave is coming in that day. And I believe with you, the courage is in managing that wave. Ain't nobody say the ship ain't gear rocky. Ain't nobody say that all of your radar gear fell off. Okay? You don't even know where you are. But I believe the universe gives us these what 58 called earlier, ebbs and flows. So you'll know how to survive on the placidness. But then you also are really good at navigating these 10-foot waves, these titles, these things that come out of nowhere. And I think, acknowledging that the healing is involved in grief personally, and you're being tasked to do that is something that I saw with Courtney. A lot of people feel she did a lot of it alone, but she also had a community. And I just wanted to get into the frame of mind that we need other people. I was very isolating when it came to healing. It's not your business. I don't need to talk to you about it, and then I'm gonna journal.
But also,
I was getting ready to ask something about that part.
Oh.
I didn't want to cut you though, because y'all was. Now, as far as the
Cut me.
isolation part, would it be fair to say that we as a people need to at least give each other in a specific allotted time to be isolated, to grieve before y'all start coming to the house when things like that happen?
absolutely.
Definitely.
Isolation is very important. That's what I was going to say. I don't think isolation to a certain degree is bad, because I don't like the way, and we were speaking on this earlier, like in our culture, Black people die, you conjugate over to the house and
Like right away.
Immediately.
like immediately, oh, such and such died, let's go see. Like, I think that is the most like selfish and stubborn stuff. Like, let the person that is like, who may have lived with them or been with them, like, there needs to be a time to process. And that first week of just not being around is not the time that we want you up in our face asking us questions or trying to see on how we get the good intent of it, but it's just not a good thing. Like, I think we miss the steps. Like, yes, we need a village, but at that time, that is for us to process, because most people are going to have a new normal.
Yep.
And that new normal is scary and they don't understand it. And it's going to be hard to even fathom, because at the end of the day, it just happened. So I think we need to allow people, just like God allows us grace and He gives us grace. I think you need to allow people their grace to like have time to process, to figure it out. And then maybe after the funeral or something, and you want to come by then and check on, because I mean, people come to that first week, and then when the funeral's over, then everybody disappears and you randomly check on people.
Yeah.
And I know this because it will be coming up on 6 years this year for me, for my mom, and people are like, oh, you should be breezing by this point.
That is not a long time when it comes to
What'd you
grief.
say? I had asked y'all what's the top 5 things that y'all hate hearing around funerals, and you said one of them was if you need something.
Give me a
If
call.
you need something, give me a call.
Yeah.
Negative.
How about call and check on me? I'm the person that's grieving right now. Like, I'm the person that's going through. And I think we get so caught up in, they look good. They look like they handling it well. They moving all right. Because I'll tell you right now, not one person saw me cry. Or I'll take that back. When I shut the casket on my mama, I broke down. But other than that, nobody saw me have any type of emotion. So everybody was like, oh, she's awesome.
No.
She holding it together well.
No.
Yeah, she's
and I
holding
would
it together well.
I would urge
like-
people who call themselves Christians to realize what God did with Jesus in terms of putting him alone.
Well, there go the Christian crowd.
Okay.
We got them.
I'm just saying, he put them alone. There are so many parables and analogies in the Bible on life events and how other people before us, whether it was true or not, handled grief. We're not the first person to do it. And one of the first things is knowing that God will isolate you to make you grow. So sometimes that grief is there. And no, I haven't experienced my mother. I've experienced my mother-in-law, my grandmother, my aunt, and several other people, because I came from a big family at a very young age. And grief is not time. Grief is love. Okay? Grief is not time. It does not go away after 6 or 7 months. And one more thing. Grief isn't always about death. Grief can be about mourning something that no longer exists. So we also need to give people that space to mourn maybe their old selves, old habits, evolving into something better.
Grief is it's a rebirth.
It
kinda.
is.
It's more like, the adversity thing, like how, you overcome. But grief is a
catalyst.
But grief is a rebirth. It's a new thing, because you're losing something and something new is being created. And whether you choose to accept the new, or whether you choose to figure out why the new is happening or what's the purpose in the new, there's a new. Because I can tell you now, although it sucked for my mom to die, there's been a new thing that happened with me. Like, there was new things that birthed inside of me. There was a new person that I don't think I would have ever evolved to if I had my safety net in my life, right? Because I would always would have been like, my safety net is here, so I would have never taken that leap of faith or that leap that I needed to have, but because I had that safety net. So when he took that safety net away, because he knew that I would never walk away and not have my mom so close in my life. So when that safety net was taken from me, it was like, okay, all right, sink or swim, pretty much what it is. So I think it's all within inside of you, what you have, like any situation, whether it's grief, whatever trauma or thing that you face.
Yeah, because we're really talking about trauma.
It's
talking about trauma
up
to the heart.
you to make that.
I told y'all last couple episodes, she gonna make us talk about mental health.
But it's
But grief
true.
is trauma to your heart. Your mind is getting used to a person that you've seen for a number of years. A number of years.
That's
like your
trauma
whole
in
life.
itself, and depending upon how it happened, can also be traumatic. So there's different levels of trauma. There's different levels of adversity that you face amongst that, and like whatever it is, not even just grief. Like I was saying, it's just about your will to like fight. Are you going to fight through it? Do you have the capacity to fight? Do you want to fight through it first and foremost?
So in the midst of the adversity that you two ladies speak of, what do you learn about yourselves that you didn't know?
Glasses.
Okay. It's kind of like message.
Like, I would say something else like the doorbell, but I ain't gonna say it because we on camera.
Message.
After the show. Did you want to go first? Okay. Be kind to yourself and talk to yourself like you would a cute baby, someone you love to pieces. I had to check my self-talk. I do it daily, and it's an ongoing prime lesson of processing feelings. Your brain will always talk you out of doing what's best for you. The brain wants comfort. Discomfort is necessary to level up. That's my lesson. Also realizing I can be the problem and learning how to correct ourselves.
Yeah, that was good right there.
So, where's your Easter speech?
And I did. I would have on. I like doing my Easter speeches during children's church. First of all,
I'm tired of this church.
Look, I like mine. I'd be like, and this is the book.
More or less, what I learned about myself is that as much as I thought I had things together, I absolutely didn't have nearly as much together. Like, but I also realized some strengths that I never thought I had. I learned about my weaknesses. I absolutely learned who I was all over again. You know who you want to be, and you know what you say you want to be is when you grow up. But in these moments, you realize who you are right now, what you are, what you have. Like you realize that, and it's like an evaluation. You know how jobs do interviews and they give you this evaluation shit.
Guys.
So that's what it was for me. It was like an evaluation of who I am, what I was, and what I wanted to be. Like, what did I want to come out of this? So I learned like how to accept things. I learned forgiveness. I learned acceptance. I learned that the things that I possessed already was good enough, because sometimes we let people come into our lives and dim her down or give their opinions about stuff that we have or we do and deter us. And sometimes we just need to sit down and realize that like what you are is already great. What you have is, you know what I mean? Like you just
with everybody.
You might have to elevate it just a little bit, but sometimes you need those self-evaluations. So for me, I do a check every month. You know, all right, girl, where you at? This is what you said you wanted to do. This is where you are, and this is why. So what is the in between, and what do we need to do to get there? Conscious
people, deliberate people will do that. You choose your day. If you are run by your feelings or emotions, you are not in control of your day.
Man, you can't tell women that. What's wrong with you?
Oh, you want to bet? Because coming from someone
shut down in here, man.
Coming from someone who
Telling
was
women not to run off
emotional.
emotion. What is wrong with you?
Hey, look, we got. What did I say about accountability?
Hey, man.
Accountability is not feeling good about your
about to be the
behavior.
enemy of the
It's
state.
learning that you did it, and now what you got to deal with it. But and I think, you know, when we're dealing with grief and redemption and life lessons, the accountability is the part that comes up that we really don't want to talk about to anyone else, because then along with the accountability comes shame and behavior. And with that shame and behavior, then you don't want to reach out to anyone to be healed.
Because what you say can and will be used against you
all
in the
day
court or the street.
Very important to protect that
They
energy
gonna
and
sit-
know who to share that shame
Exactly,
with.
because they will sit there and have a telephone
will.
call. Did you hear
About
such
you.
and such about
Yes.
you, and talk, and you know, it's a lot. But I mean, I feel like just make it your own journey and just go forth and be.
And don't
great.
be afraid of the waves.
And don't be afraid to fail. Like the waves are gonna come. Like you're saying, like I mean, the first time a wave come, you know, like the wave pool at Emerald Point. Everybody been in there.
Yeah. And I would almost drown every time.
You know,
I don't care what time.
the initial times the waves comes, you get knocked down, you drown. You feel like you'll never succeed, and then you get wise, and then you know where to go in the wave
feels
pool.
in the wave pool of death. That's what that is.
As you would get caught in
Well,
the
you know,
whirlpool, which is a
just-
life event.
You would try your best to stay alive, but then you learn how to like jump over the waves or ride
just
the
jump with
wave.
it. When you
You
see
know
it
what I'm
coming,
saying?
just jump
you,
with it.
Flow right
you
on up
learn
with it.
how to maneuver with the wave, and that's how the waves come in life. Like the first couple of times or however many times, it's gonna knock you down, but eventually you're gonna learn how to maneuver the wave and ride it, and you're like, okay, I feel it, I accept it, now let's do this about it and keep on moving. It's not gonna take you all the way back, but you're always gonna have them. It's just you grow within your waves as they come.
And I think acceptance, I really love what you said right there, acceptance. But I think that comes with having a healthy mental state. You can't really be
mental health.
yeah,
We gonna get
good
to
with
it. We're gonna get to it.
Sorry, y'all.
We gonna get to it.
You can't deal with acceptance of yourself, even, you know, acceptance of yourself, even with the shame and the grief, without, you know, going through the mud. I think people try to avoid the mud right now. I think that they want shortcuts to evolution and
Ride that thing on through.
innovation, and don't understand that the wisdom in being older is the knockdown.
Yeah.
Like she said, being on that beach the whole time and seeing the waves coming and choosing to stand there and get knocked down. So we have choices in how we evolve and how we heal.
Well, very profound. Thank you, ladies. Yeah, my experience hasn't been that deep, I would say. That's why I didn't really speak on the subject, because I lost grandparents, but that's not the same as losing parents. Like my mother and father, you know, they probably have some things they can talk about concerning bouncing back with loss.
Very much.
When you were talking about your mom, well, this was earlier, not on camera, you talking about your mom and how when people tell you it gets easier with time. I see that with my mom, how that's bullshit. Don't ever tell anybody that, man. Don't tell nobody.
It doesn't.
Absolutely.
It doesn't.
It's not.
It don't.
that- I think that we, as a culture, are conditioned in saying certain things
Yeah,
when it
stupid-
comes to
stupid
like
stuff. The
funerals
the
and
dumbest
griefs,
things.
right? And
Well,
so
remember that
let's run through
enslaved
it.
people.
We're gonna run through the list. Hold on,
Oh,
Sojourner.
sorry.
Hold on, Sojourner. Before
Because I was going to tell you how they grieve. Okay, but go on.
we're gonna run through that list of the top things we hate here
at funerals.
at funerals, and I'm gonna go first. You know, we shouldn't wait till the funeral happened to get together like this. Hate it, cause
Fake.
you're lying.
And
Cause
you're
you know
fake.
that's the only time everybody really coming home.
they look good laying up there, didn't they? Look like they was just asleep. No, they look dead.
That's exactly how they look.
They
And
look.
don't say
they
that
look
to me.
dead. Like, now don't get me wrong. My mom did look absolutely beautiful, like, because I specifically picked out who did her hair and makeup. Like, I don't play. But at the end of the day, she didn't look like she was asleep. Okay, I mean, you could stop saying that.
Chest wasn't moving worth a damn.
What no nothing. It was just stiff. I mean, she might have looked good and her hair and makeup was great, but she definitely looked like she was in a casket
took that
deceased.
personal. Like, so what you saying though? Like, I'm not look good.
I don't
dead?
think
Like,
those are comments.
How she look when she
You
was
need to
against
keep that
Right.
crap
You
to
know what I'm
yourself.
saying? It doesn't I hate hearing that.
Yeah.
Keep that mess to yourself.
Sojourner?
Don't ask me if I'm gonna be at repast. I don't like repast. Don't ask me who cooked at repast. Don't ask me what's going to be at repast. I have socialized with you, been in the receiving line, had to look at you the whole show, and now you about to ask me about some food, and I'm burying someone I love. Get out of my face about repast. Ain't never liked it. Okay, y'all go eat somewhere else.
Facts.
How was the funeral?
Let me add on
that's
to
number
the
4,
how
y'all. Right.
How the preacher preach? Did he preach good? Who sang? Who did the solo? Was it good? What? We were at the funeral. Like, what do you
Silent.
mean? How was it? Or at the funeral, you be like, how did the family do?
What do you mean?
What do you mean? How
You're
did they do?
heartbroken.
They're burying a loved one. Like, that's why when I was at my mom, I showed no emotion. Like, I mean, people was coming up to me like, you all right? I'm fine. Like, cause y'all wasn't about to go home and talk about me. Like,
Well, that's also you got to understand. That's also spiritual
Yeah, you're not about to
lessons
go
that you
about
learn.
that.
You don't give anybody access to that anyway. I'm not about to tell you how I'm feeling for real. I don't even know you like that. Are you crazy? I'm grieving. I need you to hug me, be well intentioned, and move on.
Or, you did a really good job playing in this funeral.
Please get out my face.
Oh, you did a really good job planning. It was real nice, girl. Everything was set up so nice. The flowers, the casket. What?
Because culturally, that is what we are focused on, the exterior. Instead of being focused on the fact that somebody is feeling loss from someone who's been in their life perpetually since you were born. And your mind's trying to get used to the fact that they're not here and they don't exist in this realm anymore. And you're asking me superficial questions.
I got one that we all forgot while we was at the table. Who did the body?
Yes. Who was the funeral home?
Who had the body?
Oh Lord.
Shout out to Rivers Moore.
And why didn't
Perry and
they
Spencer down here.
Rose Hill Wallace Funeral Home? Okay.
What they got?
It's right there
Gilmore
off of
services.
Highway 11.
That's what we around here. Like, I mean, y'all be like, who got the? You should let such and such them do the body. They doing. Are we talking about this funeral home? Like, I know the funeral home I was at. They might not want me to. Okay.
Say no more.
I was gonna say I could say a couple about the ones.
Oh yeah,
no,
and then
I ain't gonna do it.
No,
when
that's
you're
not what we're doing here.
when
No,
you're
that's not-
doing
no.
a service, don't tell somebody how to plan the service. That's one thing. Like, you know how people try to come in. I think you should do this at the service, and you should do this. Who told you to come here? Who told
got
you to
two
be in the
steps from
planning
getting cussed
system?
out.
Get out of here! Like, no, nobody gets to tell me how to plan this but me. And if I say I want it, I want it, and it's your job to make it happen.
That's right.
Period.
I think culturally we are not accustomed to holding space for each other because we weren't allowed to grieve. You didn't have grieving time as an enslaved person or an African.
2023. We're not gonna keep blaming everything on slavery.
I'm just when
2023.
it's epigenetic, you have to go back to the source.
Look at you,
So when people
epigenetic.
are growing in the cesspool and the foundation that is trauma and have not sought to do anything different and go for trauma tradition, then you think that is the way you should behave. And I think what we are discussing today is something that's more evolutionary and revolutionary, which is allowing brown people of color to process their feelings and give them the safe space to do so, like you gave us the safe space to do so today.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. You know.
Who cooked the potato salad?
Yeah.
And we like paprika.
We like yellow potato salad
And don't mince up
with eggs. I'm just
Now,
saying.
the devil there, potato salad though. That goes a long way. Ladies, any parting words for the people so we can get up out of here?
Well, you had one more question. I don't know if you were going to ask it, but
We're good. I think we covered.
all
Yeah,
right
we
now.
covered.
Well,
yeah.
then
Yeah, we
I don't
good.
have anything else to
We
say.
good.
I just say, whatever you're facing, whatever you're going through, find your safe space, find your people.
That's
You're
important.
not, you do not have to go through your journey alone. So you just have to make sure you find your people, and then like go forth. And if it's about grief and like process, you can always hit me up personally on my personal Instagram or the ShopTalk Instagram.
Yeah, probably a personal one. Probably a personal one. Yeah.
You know, because everybody needs a safe place, and like we have groups that we talk about every week, you know, because every week people need to check in, and some weeks may be great and some weeks may be not so great. So just keep pushing, like know your purpose, and don't stop until you never stop, really. Just keep going. There's always something great in the midst of whatever adversity you're facing.
Mhm.
Gotcha.
And learning to be uncomfortable. If you're comfortable, you ain't growing.
Yeah.
We got to be comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Yeah. Fabulous. She's a fabulous fan.
Straight up fabba.
FABOLOUS.
So look, today's episode's objective was to talk about bouncing back from tough situations and how to deal with bouncing back. I use Shakari. Again, don't want to mispronounce her name. I use her as an example because that's somebody that everybody can, relate, not even relate to, but about her and her situation. So I just use that in the beginning, kind of draw you in. Then we start talking about ways to, I don't want to say heal from it, because you don't really necessarily heal from certain situations. You kind of learn to live with them and adapt and go from there.
You hit the nail in the wood.
Yeah. But again, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for allowing us to gain your viewership. And before we go, don't forget,
Like,
share, subscribe, and
Comment.
also, I know it's at least somebody out there. Yep.
That's right.
okay.
That needs your carpet clean. In that
Okay.
case, call Gunter's Cleaning Services. Mr. Antoine Gunter at 336-663-3122. And that motto is, leave the dirty work to us. Again, Gunter's Cleaning Services, 336-663-3122. Tell them 58 sent you.
Okay.
Won't do much for your price, but just tell them I
Tell
sent
them we
you.
sent you. And you can always still hit me up for nails too. Like, holla at your
Yeah,
girl.
Lo still got Sendai Sensations, named after her mother and for her mother.
Hit me up. I'm
And if you
still in
need
the
a house,
business.
Phoenix does homes.
Be on good behavior, though.
Please.
Life is a transaction. I'm just saying.
She don't do so what she saying? She don't do window shoppers. Don't just hit her up. Just I just want to see what it look like.
Right. We don't do that over here.
No, we don't do that. We don't do that right here. Look, you buy.
I have a comment for that I'm going to make offline. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, look, you buy.
That's
Look,
right.
you buy. You want, you buy. You want
Yeah.
big house, small one. 1 story, 2
Gas
stories.
costs.
Exactly. You know what I mean?
This ain't house hunters.
Thank y'all so much for tuning in. This has been another great episode of Shop Talk NC. It's your man 58 South.
It is your girl, C-Lowe.
Phoenix from the borough.
Yeah, man. 1 word,
2 fingers.
3 times.
That's 5.
Peace. Cut the check.
Until it woo.
No, that's not what a woo 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 means. Woo woo does not mean death.
You should be mine, oh mine. Can you woo woo woo? We are. Okay.
Oh, I'm
We are
Very
karaoke.
This is the karaoke king right here. What?
That's really I'm the karaoke king.
I don't
man.
think you understand how
I'm
much
the
I love
karaoke king.
karaoke.
Like I enjoy doing karaoke.
I love watching you.
Yeah, I do karaoke, man.
That's our thing. We used
Oh,
to go
what a
around.
night.
Hey.
Late December back in '63. What a very special time for me.
Oh.
What?
Oh, what a night.
Boom, 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 boom. Boom,
See,
boom.
she know the joint. She know the joint. Yeah. Oh,
Oh, don't let me pull
I
up.
got a funny feeling when she walked in the room, and as I recall, it ended much too soon. Doom, 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 doom.
Boom.
Oh, what a night!
Dum, 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 dum. Don't get me started.